Welcome to another little short episode from Master Photo Techniques. I'm Tim Kelly. Today I'm just going to simply do a condensed version of the equipment that I use as far as capture. First, most common workhorse for me are the Canons. Pretty darn happy with them. And so the digital 35mm style camera is what I use for a lot of my day-to-day work. When I get some serious, fine art assignments, or I have something in front of me that's just marvelous, I'll move to a bigger camera. Now, one of my most favorite cameras of all time is the Hasselblad. This happens to be a 553 ELX. It's a motor drive camera. If you're not familiar with them, you can look them up and just see 2¼ film camera. I used to use digital backs on this camera in the day where they were really available. I had a couple of different Kodak digital backs that I literally just snap onto it. But that's the sound that I love right there. I mean, that is magic for me. So in the days of digital, we would simply take the film back off and attach a digital back to it. And that was my favorite time in photography right there. I go to this immediately following I call them my small digital cameras, the Canon Mark IV, 5D Mark IV. So if I really want to capture something for my portfolio, something exceptional, I will pull this camera in and do some film on it, which I still love to do. Hasselblad Digital is where I think I want to go next when I grow up. Now we come to my favorite, which unfortunately gets used the least because the material for it is largely dried up. This is a Gowland Flex TLR twin lens reflex, and it's like a giant rolly or a giant Yashica mat. It basically has a taking lens down here, which is preset with your aperture and your f-stop, or your shutter speed and your aperture. And then you have just an open focus lens that matches upstairs. So literally, if it was a handheld camera, you'd be looking in here. But it's heavy, it's big, and this is not the largest model. However, it takes large 4x5 sheet film or Polaroid film. Let's see what we got here. Viewing on the back, and we can put in film holders or Polaroid holder back there as well. So it's a great camera, and I have to shoot only very, very large film on it, which I love to do, process it myself, scan it, and yes, it's from the past, but it is a very, very large, high fidelity image maker. With this image scanned, I can beat any digital image out there. But don't stop now. There is bigger, and we're going to show you that one. So here is my big gun. Actually, they do come larger, and I've had some bigger ones, but this is an 8x10 studio camera made by basically Kodak in 1937. This is a Century 7, I believe, and it does 8x10 and smaller films. This is the film for it. 2 sides of sheet film ready to go whenever I have everything composed and ready. Now, do I use this often? No, but I do use it frequently enough because, as I said with the other cameras, start with the small ones. If I love my image, I go bigger. If it's really worth sheet film, I go to the Gowland Flex. And then finally, those rare occasions, maybe just a couple, 3, 4 times a year, I will roll this into the camera room. And it has been upgraded so that it has a PC contact. So we can fire our strobes, our whole studio strobe, off of this camera. When I take my plunger and go kapowie, I get a really solid link to my studio lights. Pretty amazing. I love this thing. Used to have 2 of them. an 8x10 and an 11x14. The 11x14, which I never used because I couldn't find the film, now resides at White House Color up in Minneapolis. They bought it as a showpiece. I use mine as a working piece. So there you go. That is my 4 main formats for all the images you'll ever see from me. I hope you've had a good time with us today. Be sure to stay tuned, subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you again.